My name is Jennifer Backstrom. In June 2020, I started calling out the Potsdam Police, St. Lawrence County Sheriffs, St. Lawrence County District Attorney, and many others in positions of power and authority in Potsdam, New York, and throughout St. Lawrence County because of their racism, their crimes, corruption, and their cover ups. I was calling them out on a case of a little boy named Garrett Phillips, who was unalived in Potsdam, New York on October 24th, 2011. He was strangled to death in his home. Immediately, they went after Garrett's mom's ex-boyfriend, Nick Hillary, a black man who was not born and raised in Potsdam, New York. He was Jamaican and attended college in St. Lawrence University, and then became a coach at Clarkson University in Potsdam, New York. Anyways, they framed him instead of even going after or investigating their friend, Deputy Sheriff John Jones, who was also Garrett's mom's ex-boyfriend. So yes, I was calling all these people out because of their racism, crimes, corruptions, and cover-ups. And the fact that Garrett has no justice because of all of that by them. My son, Teron Evans Jr., moved to Potsdam, New York in June 2020. From the time he got there, he protested with me in Potsdam and all throughout St. Lawrence County. In June 2020, there was a cross burning in Lisbon, New York, still St. Lawrence County. There was a noose left in the yard of a black family. Not long after that, a young black woman named Trayana Somerville was unalived, supposedly in her home by her own mother. In August 2020, I had a press conference with another group requesting that the St. Lawrence County District Attorney refer Garrett Phillips' case to the New York State Attorney General to be investigated. In October 2020, I joined the Potsdam Police Reform Committee. And in December 2020, myself and the only other black person on the committee resigned from the Potsdam Police Reform Committee. On January 7, 2021, I received an email from a woman on the Potsdam Police Reform Committee, but the email was to everybody else on the Potsdam Police Reform Committee also. And the person who made that email, was requesting that I lead the Potsdam Police Reform Committee. Anything less than that, she was going to resign to. I responded to that email that same day, January 7, 2021. That morning, calling out Potsdam Police Chief Mark Murray in regards to his racism and other bullshit. On the morning of January 8th, 2021, around 9 a.m., St. Lawrence County Sheriff O'Connell came to my house telling me that my son, Teron Evans Jr., unalived himself in his on and off girlfriend's home. This woman's name is Crystal Kipp. I later found out that she is a police informant, her and her adult son that lived with her. They claim that Teron took 2 bottles of Wellbutrin pills, that he ate 2 whole bottles of Wellbutrin pills. In his autopsy, there were no pills found in his stomach, no pill residue in or around his mouth, and no signs of vomiting. There were 5 responding officers to the scene, 2 Potsdam police officers and 3 St. Lawrence County sheriffs. One of them sheriffs being Deputy Sheriff John Jones, who I had already been calling out in regards to Garrett Phillips unaliving. The 2 Potsdam police officers were there for almost an hour at the scene. The body cam video that I received from the scene from Potsdam police officer Jared Lavoie was redacted down to 2 minutes and 36 seconds. Same address as the home that Tehran's life was taken in, 236. Potsdam police officer Jared Lavoie resigned after I called internal affairs. The St. Lawrence County Chief ADA resigned on the same day that Tehran's life was taken. The lead St. Lawrence County Sheriff in Tehran's case, Thomas Karinji, he retired just days after one of his sheriffs responded to an email by the New York State Attorney General's office in regards to my son, Tehran Evans Jr.'s death. And now the Potsdam Police Chief, Mark Murray, has resigned. Retired. I know my son did not unalive himself in the home of 2 police informants. Tehran was targeted by law enforcement because law enforcement is involved in Garrett's unaliving and the cover-up of it. Because they don't want to be called out on their racism or be held accountable for it or the way they treat Black people or anybody else at that matter. Tehran was killed to silence me. To see how bad their racism, crimes, and cover-ups are there in Potsdam, New York, and throughout St. Lawrence County with the people in positions of power, go watch the HBO documentary called Who Killed Garrett Phillips. It's a 2-part documentary, and you can watch it on YouTube. Tehran's death, my son Tehran's death, was not investigated. It was labeled a suicide. And that's it, closed. I need my son's case reopened and totally investigated. Crystal Kipp, her son Brian Gates, Potsdam Police Chief Mark Murray, St. Lawrence County Sheriff John Jones, Potsdam Police Chief Michael Ames, who befriended me in 2020, literally came to my house many times and sat down in my yard and talked to me and everything. I mean, we were just so cool in 2020. He needs to be investigated too, because once my son was killed, that man said not a motherfucking word to me, excuse my mouth, but nothing. Until I messaged him and said, did you hear about my son? And he said, oh yeah, so sad. Sorry. These people came together and planned the unaliving of my son, Tehran. And now are all involved in the cover-up of his death. So now we have the cover-up of Tehran Evans Jr.'s death and the cover-up of Garrett Phillips' death, who Tehran's mom was trying to uncover before Tehran's death, in the home of 2 police informants in Potsdam, New York. Go to my link tree. All the information on Tehran's case is there. I think I forgot to mention that last year in March, I finally received some information from the St. Lawrence County Sheriffs through FOIL request, many that have been denied. I got a USB with photos and interviews. And on that USB, the very first file is dated January 7th, 2021, 10:41 p.m. That's 8+ hours before Crystal even called 911 or Tehran's death. They never had Tehran in their custody, so they never should have had a file open. Again, they're part of whatever happened to my son and covering up the truth. Go to my link tree for all the information and all the ways that you can help get justice for Tehran. The New York State Attorney General needs to investigate Tehran Evans Jr.'s death and Garrett Phillips' death. No justice, no peace.